So what is your research about? What kind of stuff do you do in your lab?
My lab is pretty new, so I would say in 5, 10 years it would be probably very hard to predict. Right now we are focusing on creating like in vitro models, kind of wet lab models of in vivo like cell microenvironments, mostly focused around cancer microenvironments, studying how cancer cells interact with the surrounding like normal cells and how that actually fuel the cancer progression, and also like immune suppression. Those kind of questions. We also engineer like stem cell microenvironments. For example, the hematopoietic stem cells, like those cells, the mother cells for all the blood cells, the red blood cell, the immune cells, and we also engineer like T cell microenvironment. That's a type of immune cells. So basically, the main theme is engineering cell microenvironments.
And how did you first get involved in your field at an academic level?
That was a long time ago. So it's, I would say, about 15 years ago now. So I I was first involved in the research, I think, from the undergrads, just a little bit. Back then, like nobody really knows much about research, at least in my class. And some of the guys started going to the lab, and then uh, when I saw it, I think maybe I should go there too. So I tried that, but it was very different from what I'm doing right now. So it was mostly mechanical engineering type of lab, about microfabrication, about like MEMS. Um, I still do a little bit about similar to the microfabrication. Like, so what we are doing is to use microfabrication method to recreate the many like small micro scale features of cell microenvironment. That involves engineering some materials and services for the cell culture. So in that sense, still a little bit related. Yeah, that's the beginning.
Awesome. Describe a day in your research setting for both you and your undergrads.
Uh, right now, honestly, for me, right now, it's a lot of times I'm actually spending time like writing things, like writing grant proposals, some of the papers that I haven't finished. Um, yeah, and also I work in a lab, like training students to do research. For example, recently I was training a graduate student to work on a specific project. I'm working with a professor in the HSC campus, so I have to teach him from the beginning how to uh, do very tiny little steps. Basically, I will spend maybe half a day or sometimes the whole day on the training, and then come back to the office and do some of the things. Yeah.
And then what kind of stuff do your undergrads do?
Undergrads, I have them mostly. Their main job is kind of like maintaining some cell cultures. Either for the lab, like creating a cell bank, and or sometimes helping out the graduate student, like preparing the cells for their experiments. I also have the graduate students to kind of lead the effort to maintain the lab. For example, keep some of the materials like sterile, like do the autoclave, and some other guys to uh, what it, also the I think the equipment maintenance as well. So a lot of basic things, I would say. The undergrad I don't necessarily have a lot of deep understanding of every subjects we are working on. So I feel that's probably the best approach for them to get familiar with things in the lab.
Yeah, and what kind of qualities do you look for in your undergrad students that you take on?
I think motivation is definitely very important. and also like persistence, and also I would say what that word should be endurance or whatever. It's kind of like you have to be really patient on doing things, and you can kind of tolerate doing the same thing over and over again. That's why we call it research. So in the lab, a lot of things you have to do the same thing over and over again. Yeah.
And how would you suggest that undergrads go about finding research in the engineering field?
Look around, like look at the websites. Biomedical engineering, I think, has a pretty good lab, like department website about the research of all the professors. So that's a good source, and also go into labs. Sometimes talking to the graduate students or other undergrads that's already working in the lab. Yeah, those are usually the good.
Awesome. And last question: what are some of the most fun aspects of your research?
Excuse me?
The most fun aspects of your research.
Most fun aspect? I feel like every part's are fun. I don't know. It depends on who you're asking. I feel like all the parts of my research, you can find a lot of exciting like topics. Some of the works might be like a little bit like I mean, there's a lot of repetition in the experiments, but in terms of the end goal or kind of what you want to achieve in the end, that's really the exciting part.
Well, that is all. Thanks so much for talking to
Sure.
me. Thank you.